Now, some people say PBC on Spike starts now. Errol Spence says everyone sees me as a top prospect. Hopefully, after this fight, they see me as a contender.
Those are strong words at 147. So many great fighters in that weight class. Guys like Keith Thurman, Sean Showtime Porter. He wants to be in that class.
And rightfully so. I think he's headed that way. But again, he wants another impressive performance tonight to really thrust him to the top of that division, right below, right there with the contenders.
Right. Jimmy Antonio got to give the superlatives on Errol Spence Jr. What have you seen it when you studied tape?
What I like is his combination ability. He almost never just throws one punch. He works the body very well, and he's extremely patient. That's what I look for in an up-and-coming fighter. Patience.
He's been called a ferocious body puncher.
We've seen some of that patience early, kind of reading Van Heerden. Van Heerden, a very awkward kind of style. Hard to get his timing.
Two southpaws, Antonio. You know the game from both sides, but and we're going to see this in the main event as well. Two southpaws in the main event. Tell us about the style fans should look for.
Well, right here, it's just like two conventional fighters fighting. I mean, they're faced normally to each other, so there's really not any big difference that they're going to have to make any adjustments for tonight because they're both southpaw, and the strong hands is behind them.
I think it makes the jab a little bit more of a factor when you're not facing an opposite stance. Got to use that jab, that lead hand, and so far, Errol Spence winning that battle. Very sharp with the jab.
Van Heerden lowering his hands and stuck his head out there, almost a little bit of a taunt. He told us that early on in the fight, we should look for him to be comfortable. When he gets comfortable, he almost looks cocky in the ring sometimes, he said.
I haven't really seen Spence land anything significant, but it seems like Van Heerden is swelling up already on that left eye.
A bit of redness. That'll add to it, although Van Heerden shakes his head as if to say no.
I think it's from that jab. He's sticking it out there effectively. Spence has landed it a few times. I think that's what's calling that redness around the eyes.
And I like the fact that he's starting out with the jab. You know, if you can't hit a guy with a jab, it's going to be hard to hit him with pretty much anything else. So that's the mark of a guy that really went to school on boxing.
Final 10 seconds of the warm-up round here. Spence seen fighters in the sport and a fantastic amateur career. He was a U.S. youth champion, a Golden Gloves champion, a U.S. national champion, represented the U.S.
And we talk about all the time, champ. We talk about that amateur career builds your fundamentals. You learn the fundamentals coming up in the amateurs, and what you're seeing out of Errol Spence with that amateur career is really sound fundamentals, tight punches, hands high, and you see fundamentally a little more sound right now than Van Heerden. Many more gaps in Van Heerden's game.
Man, nice. Solid left.
And I mentioned that eye in the first round, and look at it. I don't know if it's gonna. And again, you know, taking nothing away from him, I think he's come a long way with little. I mean, makeshift gym.
Yep.
You know, your dad training, you really haven't had the top echelon of a trainer, so I take my hat off to him for getting this far.
Errol Spence looks very comfortable now and is just using a bevy of different punches to penetrate the defense of Van Heerden.
All right, now it's target practice. Van Heerden has to find a way to get around this defensively because right now he's getting eaten up.
Went for the kill shot.
Yeah, you saw with that left hand. Spence is thinking about hurting him now. He's been setting him up with the jab. Now he's loading heavier punches.
I think he's been thinking about hurting him about 2 months.
But he's patient, setting it up in the first round with a solid jab. Now he can land some power shots like that.
Left hand. Okay, Van Heerden wants to wiggle out of it, but the crowd reacts to that. Now, what do you make of it, guys? When a fighter comes back and Van Heerden has dropped his gloves and kind of chicken-necked his head out there as if to say, no, that didn't hurt me. It's the exact opposite. As we come to
the kind of fight that isn't about timing and technique, because Errol Spence has that.
Yes, he does.
Oh, and that snapped back Van Heerden's head.
Missed him by an inch.
You want to talk about Spence's power as we've seen it from a few different punches here. There's a legend from the gym when he was the sparring partner for Adrian Broner, the 30-2 former multiple world champ. The legend has it, Spence knocked out Broner in a sparring session. Spence has been asked about it before, and he won't deny it. He just says that's what they say.
You can neither confirm nor deny anything that happens in sparring. That's a rule in the gym. Everybody knows that.
That means it happened.
Yeah, it means it happened.
CompuBox says, as your own eyes tell you, that accuracy and volume heavily in favor of Spence.
Poor form to brag about that. It's a good sparring partner.
Step back, step back, step back. Let it go, Chris. Let it go. Let it go, Chris. Box.
Look at that smile. He's feeling it right now.
It's no games, all business, aggressive. I mean, man, I'm trying to find a loophole in this game, and I just don't see it right now.
You know, Van Heerden very confident. He'd sparred with Canelo. He'd sparred with Miguel Cotto. Not lightning fast fighters, bigger fighters, hard hitters, but not guys who are going to throw combinations with this kind of speed. I think he's having trouble adjusting to the speed of Errol Spence at welterweight.
Man, and he's not moving, he's not dancing. He's in there trying to land, punishing shots, and he looks beautiful.
Look, Van Heerden is a guy who kind of squints when he fights anyways. Those squints are actually very thin right now.
Yes.
There is some swelling.
He's squinting whether he wants to or
yes,
not.
there you go.
That's what he needs to do. He needs to make it a very, very tough fight for Spence. Keep him in the corner.
Coming up on the end of round 3, a fight that all three of us think has been dominated by the man in red, white, and blue. Their pro careers. Very pleased to be judged by our
Backs off, ends up in the center. You're not going to beat Errol Spence Jr. in the middle of the ring.
I see a lot of impressive things with Errol Spence, but the thing that I'm mostly impressed with is that right hook. Man, it comes from a spot where you don't see it, and it's a delayed shot after the 1-2.
And Van Heerden doesn't have a mouthpiece, and he appeared to be in trouble in the corner ropes, but he fights his way back out, landing a couple body shots. Now a little bit of blood, it would appear, coming out of the mouth of Van Heerden, who, by the way, we do not have in our records as ever being knocked down. Now, some of the South African boxing records where he fought for a while before coming over to North America get a little spotty, but we do not have him ever being knocked down. And Spence has shown power as we've... Oh, and you know what? He just lost a point for apparently spitting the mouthpiece in Alan Hutchins' mind. It was the second time that it came out of Van Heerden, and the last thing Van Heerden needs is a point deduction.
Rolling the 4th round, and we're already getting into he can't win on scorecards territory because this has been a wipeout. That point loss, that doesn't help.
Was that the first time he spit the mouthpiece out, or you just feel like he did it on purpose?
Well, it was the second time that he came out.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty quick to take away a point.
If it comes out, it comes out. But if he did it intentionally, then that's the
Well, obviously, he wouldn't deduct unless Hutchins felt that he spit it the second time, maybe the first time as well, but it was the second time that they had to stop the fight to put it back in.
Sharp jab.
Boy. We're actually going to show you a replay of it. The truck telling us that Spence punched the mouth guard out. So if that's the case, an unfair point deduction.
Yeah, that's adding salt to the wound.
We'll although with some blood coming out of his mouth, he could use a saltwater gargle, I would think, right about now. We'll show it to you in just a second here, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up on 20 seconds remaining in round number 4. Scheduled for 10 in our first fight of the night. Great to be with you for another. I want to remind you, light heavyweight champ Liam McGeary battles Tito Ortiz, plus a 4-man, one-night tournament that's going to crown a #1 contender and Glory kickboxing action, all in the same arena. You got to check out Bellator MMA Dynamite. Special night. It comes your way Saturday, a week from tonight, September 19th, live here on Spike.
Man, you got to love the leverage that Spence is generating over there in that corner.
Uppercut, brutal, right through the center.
Body shots.
problem is Van Heerden thinks he can protect himself by keeping his hands high, but Spence is going right through the middle. He's not moving his head at all. It's an easy target.
It's just the volume of punches. They're coming from everywhere.
Antonio, Jimmy, that left eye looks like big problems vision-wise for Van Heerden. You'll see it again in just a moment here. What, if anything, can Van Heerden do to try and compensate if indeed that thing, look at that thing. If you get a look at it, it doesn't appear he can see something coming on that from that right side of Spence.
Hit the one in the middle. There's not a lot you can do with one eye. Depth perception is gone.
Well, granted, I mean, he's in there, he's fighting tough, he's showing a lot of heart tonight, but he's just outclassed, man. I mean, this is just a different class of fighters.
The Latin Snake, Sergio Mora, tweeting in, them body shots. Hashtag PBC on Spike.
The one thing Van Heerden can do is throw at this range where he doesn't have to judge the range. You know, they're inside. You know your opponent's in front of you. You can't see, but you can still throw. But Spence Jr. keeping it at this range, showing he can fight really well inside. So far, nothing he can't do. This is the kind of fight Van Heerden wants.
We've been right there. Corey Erdman's scorecard. Clean sweep across the board, and then that 10-8 round with the point deduction as referee Alan Hudgens viewed Van Heerden's mouthguard coming out for the second time in this fight as a spit mouthguard, and therefore a 1-point deduction foul.
When you're winning the jab battle, it's easy to go back to square one. You unload a little bit, then you go back to the jab and start all over again. That's what Spence's jab is allowing him to do tonight. You see he gets him in trouble, doesn't have to overextend, he goes right back to the jab again.
Step back. Box.
We heard earlier from Errol Spence's trainer, Derek James. James told us in the fighter meeting that we'll see a good fight if Van Heerden can go rounds. Well, we're in the back half of the fight right now. Hasn't been scintillating yet. Scintillating for James's guy for sure.
One thing you're not seeing from Spence is the sense he's putting a whole lot behind any one punch. His gas looks good. He's fighting at an even pace, even though he's unloading on Van Heerden. It doesn't look good for Van Heerden in the late rounds.
Okay, Chris. All right. If you want to do it, back it up. You're the man in the ring.
Stop. Don't step back. Whoops.
Yeah, a heavy bag when you hit it, it moves too, but that doesn't mean you stop hitting it.
I think the thing I'm going to want to see if it gets
Heerden, okay, waving in Spence. Still feeling for the rope there. Talking to him. Again, Van Heerden has never been knocked down in his professional career. Not that we could find in any of our researcher records going back to his fights in South Africa as well. Spence, loving to get a big showing here tonight, which he's piling up the points for sure. Might start feeling like, let me get a knockdown in here to flash on the highlight reel.
And that's what I was touching on, you know, because in the back of his mind, he's thinking like he's watching himself right now, saying, am I being impressive enough, or do I need to put a stamp on this?
Well, if he's going to get a knockdown, it'll come from the power punches. CompuBox has it this way, almost 50% landing for Errol Spence Jr., 112 of them by their count, compared to just 26% for Van Heerden.
What Van Heerden is relying on with the mugging, with the clowning, is that maturity will be the difference. I'll get this young kid angry, get him off his game, get him to throw something stupid. But so far, I don't see Spence Jr. doing that.
No, he's been mistake-free in this fight.
I mean, if you're into desperation mode, we're in 7 of 10 here, guys, with a clean sweep on virtually everyone who's watching this fight's scorecard. Van Heerden's in knockout or nothing range. So why not try every trick in the book?
Exactly.
Wow. Oh, and down he goes for the first time in his career. Chris Van Heerden knocked down at the fists of Errol Spence Jr.
That looked like it landed from the back of the head, right on the top of the ear, and he didn't see that punch.